Are you ready to dig deeper? Forget the hype, question the cult worship of fake geek gods? We're not here today just to Google it. No, we're here to cut through the crap that brought us where we are today. From 1970s ancient alien paperbacks to X-Files paranoia and the Wikipedia wars. We're in search of the real forgotten geeks. Our mission is to expose recycled conspiracies and laugh at truth by consensus. No crowdsourced nonsense here, folks. Just raw, cranky, geek history truth. Are you ready to ditch the echo chamber?
Let's get cynical. Have fun. Smile more. Laugh hard. Question the status quo.
I call it the history of strange science. I've been interested in science and science fiction since the 1970s. Different topics seem to rise and fall from time to time over the years. Topics such as UFOs and conspiracy theories that I remember from various popular books and magazines from the 1970s and 1980s are now being created as websites on the internet, and YouTube is flooded with these stories. In the 1970s and 1980s, authors like Erich von Däniken wrote several best-selling books on ancient aliens. The people who followed von Däniken's theories usually followed the overall genre of UFOs and conspiracy theories. In the same section of the bookstore where I purchased the Chariots of the Gods series, I picked up a few books by writer and broadcaster Frank Edwards, who wrote several books on strange scientists and paranormal phenomenon. Leonard Nimoy hosted an In Search of television show from 1976 to 1982 that investigated various mysteries. According to the Internet Movie Database, the show In Search of was inspired by von Däniken's work. This series was created after two successful television documentaries, the In Search of Ancient Astronauts in 1973, based on the book Chariots of the Gods, and the In Search of Ancient Mysteries, also in 1973. In the 1970s, the television show The X-Files took topics like UFOs and conspiracy theories and carried them from themes followed by a few special interests into popular culture. The tag, "The truth is out there," has become a popular cultural theme thanks to shows like The X-Files. And then along comes Google in 1998 with the concept of truth by consensus, telling us that democracy on the web works. The phrase truth by consensus describes the philosophy of taking statements to be true simply because people generally agree upon them. Google is the most used search engine on the World Wide Web, and the term Google has now become a word in the English language to describe a common action. I just cringe every time I hear someone say, Google it. Do you assume that the answers it finds are always accurate? There are countless numbers of websites where people ask questions looking for answers. I frequent online forums where people share information and ideas. Some know-it-all overachiever will answer a question with the phrase, "Let me Google that for you." The overachiever is trying to look smart by insinuating that the question being asked is so simple that a search engine query should be able to find the answer, rather than, of course, bother other overachievers on the forum to actually give an answer. What the egotistical overachiever does not realize is that they're showing their own ignorance by believing that a search engine should be considered the ultimate authority for all answers. Google ranks websites based on popularity, not accuracy. According to Google, their definition of democracy on the web works because, quote, "We assess the importance of every web page using more than 200 signals and a variety of techniques, including our patented PageRank algorithm. which analyzes which sites have been voted to be the best sources of information by other pages across the web. So Google filters out what they think are good and bad and gives extra value to the sites they decide are good. Why do you let them filter your answers? Do you think the most popular people always have the correct answer? Google also gives weight to web pages of a certain length. Sometimes the short and to-the-point answer is seen as less relevant than a long and rambling answer that misses the point. Well, I find that amusing because I had a high school science teacher that also graded that way. Short, concise answers received lower grades than a long, rambling answer. Ah, yes, if life were only that simple. So let me put this truth by consensus theory into perspective with a personal example. So I search on a question, and I sift through about 20 sites that appear to answer the question. As I dig deeper, I find that one relatively popular site of dubious credibility has made a statement. Now there's 20 other blogs that quote the original site that made that statement. And now they all write stories on how this question's been answered. Okay, so let me get this right now. So 20 blogs say, wow, look at the facts. Guess what? The original site has not referenced the origin of their information. So now, this becomes a fact. I have serious doubts about the statement on a site that everybody is quoting, and I keep digging looking for validation of the answer. Often I dig pretty hard to find the original source of information, and often I can't find it. So someone looking for information types a question into a search engine, gets 20 hits on sites that all make the same statement. Should you assume what you read is a fact? If 20 different blogs tell a story based on one original article that can't be validated, do we really know the truth? Should I assume that if a top 10 hit on Google says it's true, it must be true? There's no need to check the facts? Oh, we all know the internet doesn't lie, does it? Not long after Google came on the scene, websites popped up exploring the value of crowdsourcing knowledge. Welcome to the internet, where everyone is an expert. Crowdsourcing is a modern internet buzzword to describe online communities such as Quora and Wikipedia, where people get together for a common goal to share their knowledge. When I started working on the creation of my Geek History website, my personal mission was to learn more about geek history, and also I was looking to see what questions were commonly being asked about famous geeks, so I could tailor my site to cover commonly asked questions about inventors and inventions. With that in mind, as I started hanging out at Quora, a question and answer website and online knowledge website, Quora also has the element of social media like Facebook, as members can be followed by other Quora users, so their posts can be viewed, and your answers show up in other people's news feeds, and posts can be upvoted and downvoted by users. Sounded good. But what really started to frustrate me is when I try to put the myths and legends into perspective, I get comments by some overzealous cult fan telling me, hey buddy, why don't you do some research? It really makes me want to scream, because I spent endless hours looking through newspapers and magazine articles, whatever I can dig up, trying to find the original source from periodicals of the past. But here along comes one conspiracy website. It publishes an article with no sources listed as to the origin of their information. A dozen other websites say, hey, look, here's proof. And now this myth becomes a fact. How about Wikipedia? Do you think that's a good place to find the answers to your questions? Well, Wikipedia tries to be an encyclopedia and attempts to supply good references, but it frowns upon the author interjecting any first-hand experiences. For me, that's a mixed bag. First-hand experiences can lend some context to an event or an individual. Wikipedia can be a great place to start learning about something, to get a few ideas, But Wikipedia shouldn't be your only place to gather the information. Wikipedia is a collective of information created by volunteers. And it's been proven from time to time that sometimes folks creating the information on Wikipedia have their own agenda. As its own disclaimer states, the information on Wikipedia is contributed by anyone who wants to post material, and the expertise of the posters is not taken into consideration. Users may be reading information that's outdated, or something that's been posted by someone who's not an expert in the field, or by someone who just has the goal of providing misinformation. Whether it's just idle curiosity, or just for fun, or just for a high school homework assignment, no matter what type of information you're searching for, look for multiple sources. Take a moment to look at the credibility of the sources. Dig deeper. In Wikipedia, a lot of times the sources that people have listed for the Wikipedia article have a lot of information in it that's only skimmed by the person posting the Wikipedia article. And digging deeper using sources listed on Wikipedia articles is where I found a lot of great information. The Wikipedia poster is skimming the context for what they want to put into their article, and sometimes the people who have written the information in the sources have a lot to offer that never make it to the Wikipedia post. So now we have the truth by conspiracies. There are many scammers and false prophets that take a question where people have some doubt, and they've created a sermon to answer the question. Then they run off and make it a cult. When we're talking about things here on the Cranky Cynic, we often take stories that have become cult legends and again, try to dig deeper and try to put them in perspective. With the Cranky Cynic, we're not afraid to question the status quo, and we're also not afraid to be a little bit crazy in order to maintain our sanity. We believe in the possibility of many ideas outside the realm of conventional wisdom, and we don't have to join the cult of a madman to do that. Don't believe the lies. Are you ready for the journey with me? There are times when it appears the internet has given birth to the worldwide weird with all the myths and legends. We're here to bust those myths, bust those legends. So please, give this video a like, leave a comment about what you want to hear about, and subscribe for the journey ahead. We have so many more stories to tell. At our next episode, we journey to the story of the patron saint of the Cranky Cynic, Voltaire. We're in search of forgotten heroes. The truth is out there. Can you handle the truth?
Let's get cynical.